Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into an exciting topic that could potentially change your financial future. Have you ever wondered how you can turn $100 invested monthly into $1 million portfolio? Well, stick around because we are about to break down this step by step. Let's kick things off by looking at the historical performance of the S&P 500, right? This index, which is a combination of the top 500 companies that are publicly listed in the United States, right? And it has outperformed a lot of professional investors, at least 94% of those professional investors from the data. So now think of it this way. The concept of turning a small amount resonates with me. Why? Because a lot of people think that they need a lot of money to start investing, right? So now, if you look at having $100 every month, right, that you can consistently invest, and if you consistently invest it in an index fund through an exchange traded fund at a compound interest, let's say 12%. In other words, I'm looking at the past return plus, even if you are reinvesting, that is the dividend, right? You can easily get 12%, and particularly if you only invest when the market is down, right? In 41 years, you can turn that $100 into 1 million, right? So you have heard it right, turning $100 invested every month into 1 million in 41 years. Of course, these conditions have to be there, 12% per year, right? And also, in other words, the key thing there is compound interest and being consistent, right? So now to get in more details, and I will show how you can get to that point on this screen. The key thing to know is that there are quite a lot of other investments. Like, for example, you might be wondering, how can I invest $100? There are a lot of exchange traded funds. For example, it's not a recommendation, XUS, right, which cost less than $100, right? And in my case, it's also, there's the Canadian version, so I can just put, let's say if it goes for $70, I can just put that month every month for the next 41 years, and it can be something that can make me a millionaire, in the sense that based on the past returns, it has turned out to be a very good investment. So why is it that a lot of people don't do that? It looks like it's common sense, right? The thing is, I think the answer lies in procrastination. Like, people say, oh, I'm going to win a lotto, or I'm going to make more money in the future, and in so doing you lose away from the power of compound interest. So think of it this way: if you plant a tree today, right, one mango tree, and it may take 5 years, you are watering and taking care of it, right, before it can have its own the mango fruit. So during those 5 years, it may seem like there's nothing that is really happening, until now it can now have 500 mango trees, mangoes in that, that after 5 years. For example, I'm just giving you this as an example. Now you can see that those 500 mangoes, let's say 300 of those, if you can plant them and then they develop into seedlings and then other trees, so in the next 5 years you will have that mango tree plus, let's say, 300 other trees that now can grow into other trees, which can then have their own fruits. You see that if you are drawing a graph in terms of the return, you can see that there's a compounding effect, in the sense that it's growing up at an exponential rate. So this is the importance of reinvesting your money and also consistently investing. A lot of people now, that's what they miss, and I also used to do that, to say, well, I'm going to invest when I have more money. Now, once I started setting specific financial goals, to say every month I want to set aside to save, let's say 10% or 20%, I started being intentional about things that I was spending my money on, because I had to scrutinize everything. Of course, it's important to strike a balance between now and the future, right? but it helped me to cut back on things that otherwise I was just, spending money and not necessarily spending my time on those things. For example, I had quite a number of subscriptions that I didn't really need. For example, now I like, watching videos on YouTube, so I subscribe to that. But you see that instead of also going for the phone plan, for example, that costs $50, I can just go for one that goes for, $30. Why? Because most of the time I'm at home, I don't need Wi-Fi most of the time, right? And you see that at the end of the day, because I'm mostly busy, if I just, buy into this idea that, oh, this will have unlimited minutes. That's how, at least how things work here in Canada. Still, that plan that I'm using, for example, for my service provider, I can talk unlimited across Canada, but there's also unlimited internet. But the fact of the matter is I pay for Wi-Fi at home. So if I'm working from home, or in that case, if I was working most of the time, I would be, in places where there is, Wi-Fi. So these are some of the things that I like to say. Sometimes people will say, oh, maybe I don't have the $100. It's very important to look at your expenses and see if you can't just spare aside, maybe instead of going and buying Starbucks every day, or spending money on things that are luxuries, right? You can set aside that and at least cut back on things that are, that are ones, in short. So at the end of the day, I think it's very important to emphasize that it is important to live your life, right? But at the same time, a lot of people, they get to a point of retirement without any retirement plan. So that's a situation that can be stressful, because people may end up just having to work, not because they want to or they can, but because they really don't have an option. At least in Canada, there are options like Canada Pension Plan and all this, but it is not enough. So in conclusion, it's very possible to turn $100 into $1 million over, let's say, 41 years or more. It's even possible if you invest in other companies that you really understand that can give you a return that is above 12%, but it's not easy, right? I would say a lot of people think that they are smarter than, a lot of people, and that overconfidence, at the end of the day, they end up losing a lot of money and even underperforming the S&P 500. That has been proven over time. So with this, I would like to encourage you to check out some more videos on this channel, and comment below on what you think in terms of turning $100 monthly into 1 million over a period of time. So I hope you found this video insightful. Have a wonderful day, and may the markets be with you. Thank you again for watching.